ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
My mother recipe.
Mother recipe.
It dates back to 1950s actually.
So Pakashala here in Yedur may be only a year and a half old, and Pakashala chain of restaurants may perhaps be a few years old, but Mr. Adiga and his family have a legacy of being in this business for many decades now.
1965 onwards.
1965 onwards. That tawa is happily embracing that paddu batter. It's making that sizzling sound. Kara 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 ante. And the best way to actually eat an appam, or the traditional way to eat an appam, is to submerge your appam in that stew, in that stew. Hi folks, this is Kripalamana Gourmet on the Road and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. Well, as you can see, we are on the road and we are on NH75 this morning. We've had an early start and it's been wonderful to just drive on this highway. Well, that's the thing with most highways in this country now. I think over the last 5 or 10 years, the highway system has gotten so much better. And it's such a pleasure to drive on most of these roads. And along with the growth in highways, one is also seeing amenities for the travelers. When you've been on the road for a few hours, you want to stop someplace to eat in an environment that is clean and safe. The restaurant that we're about to visit this morning epitomizes this concept at its core. We're about to visit Pakashala here in Yedur. Now this particular restaurant may be just about a year and a half old, but Pakashala as a restaurant group has been around for a few years, and the people, the family behind this restaurant have been in the business for decades. So let's get to Pakashala and savor some breakfast. Namaskara, sir.
Namaskara, namaskara.
So I'm with Mr. Vasudev Adiga.
Namaskara.
I have met you over 20 years ago, easily.
Okay.
So I think that was when you had one of your offices, your kitchens in JP Nagar.
Correct.
So Pakashala here in Yedur may be only a year and a half old, and Pakashala chain of restaurants may perhaps be a few years old, but Mr. Adiga and his family have a legacy of being in this business for many decades now.
1965 onwards.
1965 onwards.
Yeah.
And that began with
My father in Brahmin's Coffee Bar.
Brahmin's Coffee Bar.
Shankarpuram.
Shankarpuram. And when did you get into the business, sir?
1984, after my graduation.
1984.
Yeah.
So it's now about 37 years.
Yeah, 37 years.
So what is Pakashala all about?
Pakashala means the name itself says it is kitchen,
That's right.
Kitchen, where very popular Sanskrit word.
Speaking of which, can we take a look at the kitchen?
Sure, welcome.
Thank you. ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
My mother recipe.
Mother recipe.
It dates back to 1950s actually. My father came to Bangalore 1920. 1940 established one restaurant in Chamarajpet, Bangalore.
What was it called?
That was called Satyanarayana Vilas.
Satyanarayana Vilas. In Chamarajpet.
Chamarajpet.
Okay.
So that time my mother used to make all the recipe. Even she died 1 year back. Before till such time, she was only giving all our recipe at Brahmin's Cafe. And now the same thing is now we are carrying it here.
So this is a legacy that then goes back nearly 80 years.
Yeah, correct. By looking at the idli batter or idli, we can say whether the quality is proper or not.
How do you know that?
See, once they make the idli, they will put it on the plate, When they put it on the plate, if the shape changes, then we know it is very soft. If it doesn't change, it means it is not that good. It should be like a malge hua, like a jasmine flower. And even after making the idli, you will know whether it is soft or not. I don't have to touch. By looking at here, I can say with my experience, when they toss it on the plate for serving the customer, that time we will be noticing, and we can say this idli is good or bad. We can say ask him to rectify before serving to customers.
Idli hittu is basically the same uddina bele and akki. But akki tari.
We also add little boiled rice because that acts like binding agent.
Boiled rice.
Yes, binding agent. Because we see like this when they load, when they pour steam into it, it will become disintegrated because of the pressure of the steam. It gets like this. So if the boiled rice is there, it will bind. It is sticky in nature. So that will bind this batter and you get a beautiful shape.
So is there a ratio to your uddina bele to the
Yes.
boiled rice to the
Yeah,
akki
that is
tari?
1:4 we make.
One
Plus-
is basically the uddina bele.
Yes.
4 is the rice.
Actually, some people use 3 also, but it becomes very watery, the batter.
Okay.
Then the idli will become like dosa. It becomes very thin and all. So we have to have proper proportion.
1:2.
And it has to be grind properly. There are 2 types of wet grinders.
Okay.
One is a traditional medium speed,
Okay.
and another one high speed machines are there. High speed machines are recommended for chutneys, sambar masalas, and other kind.
Okay.
Whereas the other one, batter grinding, you require a little slow one so that the temperature won't rise while grinding. If the temperature rises, it becomes fermented.
Fermented. So it heats up the batter itself.
Batter.
And you soak your rice and all. How long do you soak it?
And 1 hour in advance.
1 hour in advance. But you use akki tari, right?
Yeah.
But the
Okay,
boiled rice,
boiled rice, we add grinding.
while grinding the uddina bele.
But it should be a little rough in nature. It should not be ground too nice. Whereas the udin bele, it has to be ground very fine grind.
Do you also soak the boiled rice?
That is also 1 hour.
1 hour.
And we have to wash thoroughly.
Have to wash
So that
thoroughly.
the dust and all will go and you get a very nice color. Otherwise the color will be dull.
So and basically before they steam it, how long before do they mix the uddina bele and the akki tari and the boiled rice
And
together?
actually we this thing grind it one night previously and then use it early morning. And before early morning we add little fresh batter also.
Fresh batter
About 25% fresh batter, 75% previous night batter.
Oh.
So that will give the best combination. Otherwise, the mawa batter will get fermented
So
and it won't come out of the cloth.
That of course is the rave idli.
Rava idli, we are famous. We used to make very good rava idlis, very soft and very tasty. And very hygienic kitchen, you can see here. And it is height is very properly done, so that the people won't sweat inside.
This is a fairly large kitchen, very well organized.
Yeah, this is the store.
ಇದು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ 2 bedroom ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತರ ಇದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ.
This is our chef, Chandrasekhar.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
He is from Kundapur.
ಓ ಕುಂದಾಪುರಿಂದ.
He is with me for the past 30 years.
30 years. So you bought him from Kundapura.
Yes, basically we are from Kundapur. But we came early to Bangalore and we have more or less become Bangalorean.
Bangalorean.
But still the roots are there.
Roots are there.
Because in
ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ
Kundapur.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. We use Arva water.
Arva water.
For preparation.
Oh my goodness, look at this washing area.
Because
There are restaurants that I've seen where the kitchen is not as big as this washing area. Fantastic.
dish landing, washing, sterilization with dishwasher, wiping, and then going back.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ process ಇದೆ. So
dish
basically
landing.
the dirty plates come here, the dirties are removed, they're rinsed, then cleaned, sterilized,
Dry.
dried.
After this, this is out of town, no? So no underground drainage. So we treat our own wastewater
Okay.
with STP plant, sewage treatment plant.
Oh, you have an STP
We
plant
have,
here.
we have installed there outside. We have to purify the water, wastewater, and then leave it to paddy fields. We can't directly feed this thing. We have some social responsibility, not just making money. We need to take care of the nature also.
Very nice.
Paddu and appam.
Paddu and appam.
Yeah.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೋಕೋನಟ್ ಇದು ಪರಿಮಳ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಂ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಫರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
overnight.
Overnight. So, ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
First time you do it, but after some will not do it.
So basically you will take some of the old batter and put it into that.
Put in new batter.
Okay. So only when you start a batch,
That way I'll put in yeast.
put some yeast there. Very nice. And so use a combination of
Dosa rice and boiled rice.
dosa rice and boiled rice. And the coconut, of course, which is very important.
Yeah. A little bit sugar and a little bit of
Salt. Fantastic. That tawa is happily embracing that paddu batter. It's making that sizzling sound. Kara 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 ante. ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ. ವೆಲ್ ದಿ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೋನ್ಲಿ ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ ವಡೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ವಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪರ್ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಡೂ ಅ ದೋಸೆ, ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ. ಯಾವುದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಯಾವುದು?
Ghee masala.
ಒಂದು ಘೀ ಮಸಾಲೆ ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪಡ್ಡು ಆಪಮ್ ಎರಡು ಸಹ ಕೊಡಿ. ವೆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫೇರ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಮೆನ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ they are not only popular for their South Indian dishes, of course it's breakfast time here now, so you have all the breakfast items, but then they are also very popular for their meals. They do a South Indian meal and a North Indian meal too, which is very popular, and then they also do some Chinese. Oh, idli vade bantu already. So it doesn't matter what time of the day you are on NH75 at Edyur, whether you're here for breakfast or lunch or some evening tiffin or some dinner, you will always find something interesting to eat. This is an idli that's soft and crumbly. Even as I hold this idli, that idli is quite simply breaking away under its own weight. And after all, this is a family that has a legacy of making the idli for nearly 80-90 years now. You can certainly taste the crumbly texture of the rice tari in that, of the rice rava in that idli. And I'm told they also use some boiled rice here, as I've learned from Mr. Adiga, because that helps bind or keep the batter together. I think what this idli needs though is a generous dunk in that chutney. Kara ide, the flavor of the green chilies and also that of the beisoppu, of the curry leaves. There are some partnerships that are made in heaven, and the partnership between this idli and this chutney is certainly one of that. I can of course taste the grainy crunch of the coconut and also a slight sweetness that comes from the jaggery and also that tinge of sourness from the tamarind. Oh, that's a delicious chutney. I think I may need to enlist the assistance of the spoon to retrieve that piece of idli from the chutney, because that idli, as soon as it met the chutney, has given in completely to that chutney. That idli has quite simply disintegrated, thereby also allowing for that chutney to seep into every pore of that idli. Place the idli drowned in the chutney on your tongue, nalige mele haki, and rest. You don't need to do any work. You don't need to even bite on it. The moistness in your mouth will quite literally break down that idli chutney into a pool of spicy idli chutney deliciousness. ಏನು ದೋಸೆ ಇದು?
ಇದು ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಮಸಾಲೆ.
ಓ, ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ದೋಸೆ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ತುಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ತಿನ್ನೋಣ. ವೆಲ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೆಸ್ಟಿನ್ ಟು ಈಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಬಟರ್. ತುಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಈ ಬಾಟ್ ಮಿ ದ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ. ಸೊ we'll taste the benne masala dosa. Well, I got some of the idli that is given itself to the chutney, so I got to retrieve that before I move to that vade and that benne masala dosa. This vade, of course, was busy when it came, but it has cooled down a tad while I was savoring that idli. This is a vade that's roasted twice over. I can feel that in the crisp texture of the vade. So there are two textures to this vade. One is that crisp outer layer, which is basically a result of that vade being fried twice over. Of course, the vade has cooled down a bit. Bisi vade tindudu majave bere, but that doesn't take away from the texture of the vade. So the vade is crisp and crackling, almost biscuit-like on the outside and quite soft and porous inside. There's a very interesting aroma that I'm tasting in that vade. It's got a smidgen more oil than I would have cared for, but I think this is again the sort of vade that would benefit from a good dunk in that chutney. This is interesting. You know, sometimes what happens is when things are hot, you taste certain textures, you taste certain flavors. When things cool down, you also taste slightly different flavors. And in this vade, I'm also tasting the aromatic nuances of the hingu. So of course the vade has plenty of uddina bele. So to counter the effect of the uddina bele, you need some asafoetida, the hingu. And the quality of the hingu that's used in this is one that is giving this vade a subtle fragrant aroma. I can't wait to return here and taste this vade busy. Speaking of which, I think I should go to my benne masala dosa and savor it while it is still hot. Watch that benne melt as it travels on the hot surface of that dosa. You know, this is my first time, although I'm familiar to many of the eateries of the group, this is my first time at a Pakashala. Mind you, I've also tasted the butter masala dosa, the benne masala dosa that is served at Nandi Upachar, which is also a part of Mr. Vasudev Adiga's group. And that certainly is a special dosa too. But the Pakashala masala dosa, I haven't tasted yet. So there's always a sense of anticipation when you break into that dosa for the very first time. You can see that benne in between my fingers. First bite nalliye godambi bantu. Along with that palya, the nirulli and also some curry leaves. It's definitely the lushness of the butter. A tinge of tartness from the batter that I can definitely taste. What's also nice in this palya is there's bits of the kai or the fresh coconut that you bite into along with the lentils. This is also a dosa that has been smeared with some pudi. I can taste some of the warmth in that pudi and also a bit of sweetness there somewhere. So what's interesting about this dosa is that it's crisp but not kadak crisp. So there is a certain amount of crispness, and then this dosa is also soft and fluffy. And there are certain parts of the dosa which are quite translucent, which still have a bit of a crackle. Like that. You know, the fascinating thing about a dosa, and I've had so many masala dosas, is that you can never tire of appreciating the beauty of a dosa. And every dosa that you taste in any establishment, every dosa will always be different. Out here the dosa is roasted not to a deep darkish brown but to a golden brown. Is also the sort that would do well with some of that chutney. Because there's some warmth, spicy warmth in that chutney pudi that's smeared inside the dosa. Now that sweetness which is there in that chutney with some bella is now accentuated a wee bit. When I tasted the chutney with the idli, I could taste more of its spicy fervor. But now, because there's some spice in that chutney pudi in that dosa, when I pair it with that chutney, I can now taste that sweetness a tad more. I think that's the beautiful thing about food. You can taste the same thing, but taste it with something else, it will taste entirely different. And that's why I never get bored of eating dosa, idli, vade. Because each time I approach an idli, each time I approach a dosa, each time I approach a vade, I'm tasting something new. Like that premium quality, that high quality asafoetida that went into that vade here to give it a lovely fragrance. Anyway, let's also get to that sambar. I've ignored the sambar. It's got a lovely color thanks to the Byadgi Menzenkai. Chanage sweetness good aayade. The warmth of the Byadgi Menzenkai, the sweet tartness of the tomato, bella good aayade idralli. And the onions have been cooked to an extent where it's almost mimicking the tomato in its fleshy texture. And of course the onions also add to the sweetness. This dosa doesn't look very big, but because of the fact that this is not a dosa that's thin, this is a dosa that's rather thick in certain parts. It's also a dosa that will fill you up rather quickly. And I'm definitely feeling the effect of its weight on my stomach. So if you're the sort who likes your dosa very crisp, you may probably need to ask them to roast it a bit more. But I like my dosa to be crisp, yet have a bit of softness to it. Now this is something that you don't get at most eateries on the highway. You've got some appam, bisi appam, and also the paddu that is made live in the restaurant. The appam when it arrived was steaming hot, but the appam is also a dosa that also cools down rather quickly. It's incredible as to how quickly the appam cools down. It was steaming hot not even a minute ago. So along with the appam, of course, they serve you a vegetable stew. You also get a tomato chutney and you also get a kadle gravy or the kadala gravy, because after all, at the end of the day, an appam comes from Kerala. And I guess that's the version, the Karnataka version of the kadala curry. What I want to do is savor that appam with some of that vegetable stew. So this also is an appam that is rather crisp, that is rather kadak. When you dip it in that vegetable stew, and I can also taste some of the hard spices in that stew, I think there's probably some cinnamon that has gone into that stew, and that's the flavor that I'm also tasting. And the best way to actually eat an appam, or the traditional way to eat an appam, is to submerge your appam in that stew, in that stew. This is an appam that certainly has a bit of weight in its texture and its body. Typically, you would associate an appam with a bit of fragility. But I guess every cook has his own recipe, his own proportions in terms of what goes into that appam batter. So typically in an appam batter, there's always the rice, of course, and then there is the coconut, the fresh coconut. The rice is soaked, ground, and then also mixed with that coconut. A thickish sort of a coconut milk, and then that's allowed to ferment for some time. So traditionally in Kerala, they would make the appam, and to ferment they would use some curd or the toddy. Now that's not available and that's not possible, so most eateries tend to use yeast. But what I've also learned from the cook here is that they also use a bit of the previous day's batter to mix into the new batter, and that helps activate the fermentation process. Let's taste that appam now with some of that tomato chutney. It's a tomato chutney, so it is tart, also a bit warming on account of the chili. Let's move next to the kadala, the Bengal gram gravy. It's almost a thick korma of sorts. It's almost like a gashi in its texture. And I guess for something that is as weighty as this atypical appam, I guess that Bengal gram gravy would make for an interesting combination. There's also a tinge of sweetness that I'm tasting in that appam. Let's now gaze towards that paddu. The paddu is roasted rather well around the edges and in the center too. It's typically the same dosa batter, but then dosa batter that is fortified with a bunch of things. So there's some carrot in there, some coriander, and one of my favorite ingredients, the dill or the sapsige soppu. And that certainly makes its presence felt in the aroma and also its unique flavor that it imparts to your taste buds. What's interesting in this paddu is a variety of textures that you taste. So first you got the crisp rim of that paddu, and then of course the roasted surface as a result of that ball of batter frying in that cavity in that paddu tawa. And then on the inside you have the softness of the paddu that's punctuated by the crunch of the onions, the nuttiness of the mustard seeds, and some of the other things that go into it, like the sapsige soppu. I didn't care much for that chutney in combination with the appam, because I thought the chutney overpowered rather muted flavors of a typical appam. But out here, because there's so much happening in that paddu itself, the tart, slightly warming flavors of that tomato chutney make for a great complement to the vivacious hit of flavors and textures that you taste in this paddu. Oh, bisi appam. So the thing out here, because they make the appam and the paddu right in the restaurant itself, they serve you one appam first, but the second appam comes to you bisi and also kadak just about the time that you finished your first appam. And to me, the combination with this appam is definitely the stew. This appam is a tad crispier than typically what one would associate with an appam, as I mentioned earlier too. But like I said, every chef or every cook brings his own touch into every dish that he or she prepares. For me though, the combination was the paddu with that tomato chutney and the appam with the stew. That kadala curry too makes for a weighty complement to the weight of this appam. Thank you very much. ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ? ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಷ್ಟು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಅರುಣ್ ಪೂಜಾರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನವರ? Very nice. I'm always happy to meet fellow Mangaloreans. Thank you very much. That's the sort of coffee you want to be greeted with at the end of an indulgent breakfast on the highway. It's got enough punch of the coffee, and thankfully the sweetness isn't the sort that weighs over the flavor of the coffee. So when you're on the highway and you've driven a few hours, you're looking for a place where you can stop, indulge in some tasty food and also rest for a bit. You're also looking for a place that is hygienic and safe, especially in the current times that we live in. And the time that I've spent in Pakashala, whether it's the time that I spent in the restaurant or the area at the back, certainly demonstrates that the management and the team here are extremely focused on ensuring that they serve the customers to the best possible hygiene standards available. Whether you're looking for some South Indian tiffin or a more elaborate South Indian meals or the North Indian meals or also the smattering of Chinese that they do, there's something for everyone here. So if you're in this part of the world, driving along the highways here, do stop by and savor the Pakashala experience that has the kitchens at its core. The food here is a sort that will please your taste buds, and your experience here will also perhaps help to fortify you for the journey ahead. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, and happy drinking. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating.